turnout on it. Spit out what I'm trying to say. So, so I think I've told you already, but last week at this time, I was out on a boat out in Monterey Bay whale watching, and it was not a very nice day. Actually, it was a day a lot like today. It was very overcast and cloudy and cold. It was we froze our butts off, I'll tell you, and was not dressed warm enough. But oh man, did we see the whales? It was the humpbacks. We saw so many whales. There were probably half a dozen boats out there on whale watching things. We were one of the bigger boats. There were a lot of little boats, smaller boats, but yeah, I guess this is kind of prime time for the whales to come into Monterey Bay. Anyway, we saw sea lions, we saw all kinds of birds, pelicans, seagulls, of course. We saw an albatross. Do you know that albatross spend like most of their lives in the air? Actually, like 70% of their lives in the air. And they glide, they coast for thousands of miles from like Hawaii to California. I mean, it's pretty amazing, right?
See any sea cows?
Sea cows?
Yeah.
What do you mean? No.
You
mean like a female sea lion, you mean?
No, they're called sea cows.
No, I guess I didn't.
That's where I've seen them, is in that area.
Oh, what are they?
Beach themselves. They're kind of like a sea lion, but they're way bigger.
Oh.
Yeah, and they've kind of sunned themselves on the rocks there and everything.
Yeah, well, yeah, I thought actually the first night we were there, we went over to Fisherman's Wharf. They call it Old Fisherman's Wharf in Monterey. Very much like the Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco, but about a tenth the size, of course. And there's a little inlet right there. And there were probably 50, 60. I thought they were seals. The sign said they were sea lions and you're not to feed them. But they were very loud, and they honk kind of like geese, actually. And then one starts, and then they all start.
Yeah.
But there were a couple of big males that were the big bulls that were kind of holding court, and then all the little guys and the females, of course. But yeah, it was fun. It was really an exciting adventure. And then, of course, the day before the whale watch, we had gone to the aquarium, which, if you have young kids, it's like so well designed for young families. There's so much interactive stuff for the kids to do. There were a lot of young families there the day we were there on Sunday. And
oh yeah.
Well, they just had, actually, it turned, I didn't realize, I mean, why would I know this? But if you live in the area and you have if you have a public library card, you can go to the aquarium for free. You just have to show your library card and they let you in for free. So I think that's great, because I'm sure that they get government money, public money, for some public money, but it's basically a private institution. So I think it's wonderful that they do that. And of course, all of Monterey Bay is a protected marine sanctuary, and then where the aquarium is actually situated is in an old cannery. It used to be Monterey provided the sardines for the world, really. They used to pull in at their peak something like 2 million sardines a day. And they created, the K rations for the soldiers in World War I and World War II, both. But they overfished the bay, and that's a manatee.
No, it's a sea cow.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see anything like that. I thought it was I thought those were manatees.
No, they're different, but yeah, and they're big. Yeah, they're kind of like,
Hmm.
it's been a while since I saw them, but they kind of like hippopotamus size.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Like we saw them sunning on the rocks along Highway 1 there or whatever, and pulled over to go see them. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But,
No, we didn't. No, we didn't see anything. We didn't see those. We saw sea lions. So I don't know what the difference between a sea lion and a seal is, but it shows you what an inlander I am.
how to unshare.
Yeah. Well, there should be a tab somewhere. It says start. Oh, at the bottom it says share screen.
No, it's not.
There you go. You got it. Okay. Okay. So they're like whatever sea cows are. They're like a manatee. It looks like. Are you going to pull up a manatee now?
No, I figured that was enough.
That's enough. I don't know. You should pull up sea lion versus seal, right? Sea lion versus seal. Okay, there we go. How do they differ? Anyway, on my Facebook page, I posted some videos of some of the jellies that we saw. Okay, we want images, right? Images. Oh. All right. Well, I guess this is the best one here. Where am I here? I guess. So these are the sea lions.
National Geographic.
Huh? Yeah, right?
National Geographic.
I don't know. Anyway, I guess I don't know. I guess they're not that much bigger, I guess. I don't know. Hard to say. Anyway, we saw them out in out in the ocean too. They were kind of following the whales, which makes sense because they're all hunting the sardines and the sardines were like so cool because they swim in these huge schools and they circle around, and actually when you go into the to see the fish part of the aquarium, they have like a dome above. You walk in and there's a dome above you, and swimming all around in the dome is a school of sardines. It's like, wow. It was like, so at first I'm like, are those real? They look real. Is that CGI? No, they were real. It was really amazing. Anyway, it's like I said, it's just a wonderful aquarium. We easily spend a day there, and you easily get tired before you see everything there is to see. But and they've done some wonderful research. So, oh, now what? Okay. Sea cow versus manatee. What are the differences?
Well, first of all, sea cow is seawater only.
Yeah,
Manatee.
well, manatees are too, right?
No, it says that the manatees can live in fresh
Oh,
backfish and salt water.
well, I
Yeah.
know you see the manatees down in the Everglades. I know.
Yeah, and you can see they're kind of like
Yeah.
different shape and sizes too. But
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now I know. I never knew. Now I know. So shall we talk a little bit about our new year that we're starting today? You want to talk about our new year, our 12-week year that we're doing?
I don't know, should we? But didn't we start it like a week ago or 2 weeks ago?
No, well, I'm starting today. Today, my new. So Wes and I read a book, about 3 or 4 months ago, called 12-Week Year, and we've just signed up for a program. No, I started today, and so the concept is that rather than set your plans and goals and whatnot for a full year, you only set it for 12 weeks. And so every 12 weeks, you begin a new year.
Not a quarter.
Not a quarter. It's important that it's not quarterly planning. It's annual planning in a 12-week in a 12-week span. And one of the key concepts is that you set no more than 3 goals. The less is more, it's a less is more concept, because you get hyper focused, and it's I don't know, we're gonna see. We'll see, but here, this is the book, The 12-Week Year by Brian Moran and Michael Lennington. We listened to an interview of Michael Lennington on 6 a.m.ers, right? About 3 months ago, maybe. And yeah, so it's anyway, if you're interested, I would highly recommend the book. I think it's really interesting, and it's not a very, as you can see, it's not a very big book. And actually, the first part of it, right, Wes?
There's lots of pictures.
Yeah, there's lots of pictures. Well, maybe not so many, but but the first half of the book is actually, they started out as a pamphlet, right, or a booklet, and right, and it was only like 60 pages or something, but that basically outlines the whole concept. And then the second half of the book is just their charts and graphs and work,
Applying it, basically.
applying the concept. So yeah, so it's a very quick read, but yeah, they're doing a what they call an accelerator program for this. In my, yeah, they most people started last week. They start on Monday always, and most people started last Monday, but because I was gone, I'm starting this Monday. So I'm a week behind everybody, but anyway, but Wes and I are going to hold each other's feet to the fire and make sure we do what we're supposed to do. Right?
Because we're so good at that.
Well, yeah, we're so good at that. We get easily distracted, which is easy to do in our
By
industry.
each other too.
What's that?
I said by each other too.
Totally. So
We're going to be better about it though.
yeah, absolutely. We're going to apply our 12-week year training and programming, and stay tuned. News at 11. We'll let you know how we do. But I'm excited about it.
Yeah, me.
Yeah. Have you come up with your goals and your plan?
Yeah, basically I already had before, when I, after I read the book and did kind of the workbook. So yeah, I pretty much already had. I'm tweaking it a little bit today, but I pretty much already had it.
Well, that's a funny thing, because actually, yeah, I did the same thing. I laid out my whole plan, and I even put it in my planner. Actually, my first 12 weeks is supposed to end next week.
Oh, yeah.
But I did it for about a week, maybe 10 days, and then I didn't have anybody holding my feet to it. It's like going to the gym and having a trainer. If you have that appointment to see the trainer, then you do it.
Which is the reason you signed up for the course.
Which is why we signed up for the course. Yeah. Exactly. So it's not knowing what to do, it's just doing what you know what to do. So but it's not real estate specific. I should point that out. It's really for any.
Oh yeah, it wasn't even written for real estate. It's
not written for real estate. It can be applied to your personal life for that matter.
Probably more specific for entrepreneurs, but not even necessarily that.
Right, because they talk about if you have a team that you manage, or setting goals for the team, and yeah, so it's definitely not even for entrepreneurs, really. It's you can even set it if you don't work, even if you don't work, if you just want to set personal goals and keep on track, you can do it for personal goals too, right?
So hopefully it's not just going to become another one of those books on the shelf behind you.
I know, I have so many of them, right? But I love my books. I do.
I'm assuming a lot of those, because I know a lot of those are, well, this is the plan we're going to do now, and this is the plan we're going to do now.
Right. All right. Them's fighting words now.
I'm agreeing that this one's going to be different.
This is going to be different. Anyway, but yeah, any update on the market? I mean, the market actually, I don't know. There's it's still our mantra that we've been saying all year. There for the last 2 years, there's not enough inventory, and it's true that interest rates are up to around 7.5, but there's plenty of people out buying because boy, anything that comes on the market is gone in a weekend, right?
Well, it's interesting. It's still, I don't know, it's still hot and cold to me. Certain things are, selling quickly and other things are sitting, and the downtown neighborhoods are still pretty slow, even though inventory is low.
Mhm.
And I don't know, it's odd. Yeah, I think it just depends on not just what neighborhood, but what price point, what block it's on, how it shows.
Mhm.
All of that stuff is just intensified.
Well,
That stuff always matters, but obviously it's just more intense right now.
well, it's a very, I mean, I think it's a very price sensitive market.
Mhm.
Very price sensitive. If you're overpriced, I think as a seller, you're in trouble. And regardless of the market, regardless of what neighborhood you're in, I mean, and it's just there's not a lot of margin for error. You know,
Yeah.
you just have to, which makes it tough on us, I would say, because if I'd rather err on the side of being a little low, because if you're a little low, then you get multiple offers and it'll be gone in a weekend. But if you're too high and it's not gone in a weekend, then the buyers and their agents are all wondering, well, what's the matter with it? Why isn't it sold? So it's a very unforgiving market in that
Yeah.
regard, I find. But
Mhm.
but it's still brisk. I mean, there's still lots of activity out there. As we know, we had a client that got into a multiple offers situation this weekend that they offered over list and didn't get the property.
Mhm. Mhm.
So there you go. What
But
do you-
yet there's other houses they looked at that have been on the market for weeks and are sitting there.
Mhm.
So it's just, that's what I mean. It's really hot and cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's what I mean. It's a very price sensitive market. And that's what I'm talking about. It's like if you overprice it and it's not gone, everybody is kind of like, well, nobody wants it until somebody else wants it. And if nobody wants it, then you're in trouble. Right? So anyway, but
Let's see what the week brings.
see what the week brings and what the feds are doing. They're saying that the economy is headed for a soft landing, that the Fed, I read this in a couple of different places now, that now they're complimenting, everybody was screaming and yelling about why are the feds continuing to raise the interest rates, but now they're all saying, well, it seems like the Fed has done a good job because the jobs reports have come out and they're still very, very strong. So now they're saying that they think the Fed has done a good job with
Hmm.
managing the economy. So we'll see. Not that I know anything about it. I just know what I read. That's all I know. So anyway, I'm sure there's a different opinion depending on who you talk to.
Oh yeah, I hear them all every day.
Yeah. Hey, what did you hear about Lollapalooza? I understand that it was supposed to be a real bust out for the hotels downtown, the Lollapalooza traffic.
What do you mean by bust out? You
I
mean go?
mean that it was like a great weekend for
Oh
them.
yeah. I had heard everything was booked up, and it always has been for Lala. So yeah, I mean, it feels
But
very
I,
successful to me. I'm assuming parts of it got rained out on Saturday, but I don't know for sure. I could
Mhm.
see all of the lights. It was really interesting from our place in River North last night. We could see it was clouded up, but it looked like lightning, at like extreme lightning at first, when we realized it was all of the show lights from the stage
Oh,
lights from the show,
uh-huh.
all lighting up the sky. So I don't know if it was the Red Hot Chili Peppers that were performing or who, but it was
The
pretty.
lights were reflecting off the clouds, you mean?
Yeah, they were, well, shining onto the clouds, like, yeah.
Mhm.
And it
Huh.
was all over the place, so it looked like it was like it probably looked really cool from Grant Park. But
Yeah, I bet.
yes, so
Wow.
I
Cool.
hope it went well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I know that Turquoise had a free pass for the weekend, so I know that she was there
Well,
this,
good.
this weekend. Yeah, yeah.
We'll have to
Some
get a
some
report from
guy
her.
that some fella that she met a couple years in a row out at Coachella. Is that what it is? Coachella out in California.
Uh-huh.
Out in California. She's gone a couple years in a row, and she met a fella who he's like Stump, you know, he always gets passes to Lollapalooza. Although you told me Stump didn't get him this year, right?
Yeah, but I don't think he asked either. So
Oh, yeah, yeah. Anyway, so all right. Well, I guess we're kind of short on news today, but we'll be back at it next week.
we did figure out the difference between a sea cow and a
A
manatee.
sea cow and a manatee and a sea lion and a seal, I guess, and
Important stuff.
yeah, all really important stuff, the big stuff.
And everybody out in the world a little bit smarter today.
Have a good week, everybody.
Bye.